Alright, so I'm going to be doing some asks about dragons. I like Landy. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 asks about dragons. 3 about Landy, 3 about just dragons in general. So, I'm going to start with the general dragon questions. Dimitri asked, do dragons have a kind of caste system? What is it usually based on? Well, actually, I'm thinking about one little society of dragons in my head that has a caste system based actually on what type of dragon you are, so going to use terms here that people probably don't know. According to one of my dragon books, there are 5 classifications of dragons. There's serpent dragons, which are the, just giant snakes that are dragons. There's semi-dragons, which would be lindworms, which are snakes with legs, basically, like 2 legs. And also semi-dragons include wyverns, which are the 2 wings, 2 legs, typical type of dragon. And I imagine drakes would probably be in there too. Drakes are, for those of you who don't know, dragons with 4 legs, no wings. Sort of. I'll talk about that in a moment. I may do a separate voice for that. So anyway, those would be semi-dragons. Then the third type is classical dragons, which are just medieval, fire-breathing, 4 legs, 2 wings, typical sort of dragon. The next class is Sky, which is made up of the flying serpents and, Chinese, Japanese dragons. And the last category is, I think it was, I don't have the book with me, I should have brought it to school, but I didn't, so I believe it was pseudo-dragons is what it was called, and it's things that are dragons, they're definitely dragon-like, but they don't fit anywhere else, so cockatrices are this, where it's well, it's a bird lizard that turns things to stone, that's definitely very dragon-like, but I don't know, it doesn't fit in any other categories, or a hydra's multi-headed dragon, but it doesn't necessarily fit into another category. The Tarrasques in there too, because for some reason Tarrasques are dragons. Lion turtles. 6-legged lion turtles are dragons. In case you want to know. But yeah. So I have a society of dragons in my head. Lots of weird things in my head. Weird people in my head. Where they have a caste system and it's classical dragons are the ruling class, ruling upper class. Sky dragons are equal to classical dragons, but focused entirely on the religion of this society. Then wyverns and drakes are below the classical dragons and are the middle class. And then you have semi-drag, the lindworms are below them, and they're lower middle class, basically. And you have serpents are the peasants, and then neo-dragons would just be the slaves. So that's one. But taking the society out of it, do dragons have a caste system? And if so, what's it based on? Yes, kind of, but it's more of a dominance hierarchy, whoever the strongest dragon in an area is the top dog, and then it sort of operates like a wolf pack if each wolf controlled its own piece of the territory, and they never work together. So basically, if there was a caste system, for the most part, it's built off dominance, who's strongest, etc. Alright, next thing Dimitri asked was, what do different types of dragons look for in mates? Yeah, so let's see. It really depends on like the kind you are. So like overall, like I said in the chat, overall it's health. Like overall, if you're healthy, people like you. If you're not healthy, people don't like you. But like healthy means different things to like different people. Yeah, sorry, I'm RPing too, so I've got like really like zoned out there for a moment. Sorry. Different dragon types find different things attractive. Okay, and Dimitri's asking me what those things are. So, if you have like an Eastern dragon, they'd probably find like long body, like long tail, long necks, basically like long, lean, slender. Legs can't be too long because that's weird. Good antler, branching horns. Like if a male has lots of branches on his horns, it'd probably be very attractive. Scars are attractive because they show that you've survived fights, but if they become too disfiguring, then they stop being attractive. So usually females will like to look for males who have like full tendrils, not like ones that have been half bitten off. If you're a Japanese dragon, the female's probably looking to make sure you have 3 toes. No more. If you're in China, then they tend to be a little bit less picky, but 3 is not attractive. 4 or 5, because toe count actually tells you the species of dragon. But this isn't always the case, but yeah, sometimes toe count matters. Give that bitch a toe, bitches love toes. So that's for like Eastern dragons, and like Western dragons, like tail tips. Tail tips are big. Good wingspan, not too big. Big. Like the wingspan needs to be large, but not too large. Like I've mentioned before, that Landy is considered unattractive because her wingspan is 4 times the length of her body, which is really way too big, and it just makes her look awkward. So like you need to have a big wingspan, but not too big. Long necks can be attractive, but not too long. So like you need to be well proportioned for your species. Like you can't have a freakishly long tail or freakishly long neck. Like I said about tail tips, normally Western dragon tails end in some sort of weapon like a spade or like a arrowhead or something like that. And if your tail doesn't end in one of these, you're probably considered pretty unattractive. Horns. Lots of horns is considered attractive. Lots of horns, lots of spikes. Things like those. Totally. Length, heat, color, flame. Also attractive. Big strong male makes big strong flame. Sea dragons usually look for long bodies, nice coloring, nice blues, greens. Red sea dragons probably considered pretty unattractive by standards of their species. Let's see what else. Feathered serpents look for nice plumage. Make sure all the feathers are in order. Just things like that. I don't know. Basically, they look for whatever would indicate you're a healthy member of that race. Alright, now let me do one thing with an RP, then I'll move on to the next question. Alright. Next question by Dimitri is, are weak young dragons often killed at birth? Would a dragon kill another's eggs out of spite? Depends on the race. Some are for culling, some are against culling. Like, Landy has a brother that's pro-culling. Landy herself is against culling. Mostly because she herself was born a runt and probably would have been culled or had her parents been pro-culling. But typically in quite a few races of dragons, the weak are killed, mostly, especially like weak males. Not because they're cold, but because it's normal for when dragons hatch to, like, especially males, to fight their brothers to the death. And some dragon, like, some individuals will, like, break them up and try to keep this from happening because their logic is like, no, our numbers are too low, every hatchling is precious, we shouldn't do this. Even if they're not the strongest, like, there are other ways they'll grow, and then others are just like, we just should die. So they will be killed at birth, but not by their parents, by their siblings. And would a dragon kill another dragon's eggs out of spite? Yes, they would. That is something that they would do. If they hated the other dragon, that it is not uncommon to see eggs smashed by dragons killing each other's eggs out of spite. That is an occurrence, sadly. Alright. That is enough of Dimitri's questions about society. Now moving on to ones about dragons. Like, about Landy in particular. Caesar asked me if Landy has a favorite precious stone or metal to hoard. She likes gold not because she, like, favors gold above all else, but because she likes the look of, like, a huge hoard made of gold coins. Like, she just thinks it looks appealing. In terms of stones, really any precious stone that has a bright, vibrant color to it, like emeralds, rubies, amethysts, sapphires, like, those four, she'll hoard a lot of them. Not so much diamonds. If she's has, like, a little swimming pool, like, water area in her hoard, she'll usually, like, put pearls in there. She's not a huge fan of diamonds or quartz or anything that's, like, too clear. She likes bright stones. Actually, one thing she really likes are stones that have the little star things in them. I forget what they're called, but, like, look them up. Look up star sapphire, star ruby, star emeralds. Look those up and you'll see, and she really likes those. But mostly she likes colors. Colors are appealing to her. Alright, so I hope that answered that. And did Landy have any childhood friends? Yeah, she did. I could just end the question there because you didn't ask me to elaborate, but, most I'm going to define her childhood as before she left her parents. She left her parents actually a bit too early, but because she had, like, she personally felt she had business to do, so I'm just going to do, like, when she was with her parents for, like, a little while. Did she have childhood friends? Mostly she hung out with her siblings. For the most part. And, like, 3 dwarven slaves that her parents had who she really liked. But mostly she hung out with, like, 6 other siblings who, like her, weren't born the same breed as her parents. They, like, had their own little club. So mostly her childhood friends were just, like, her countless siblings. Because there really weren't anyone else. Countless siblings and 3 dwarves. Sounds like a weird-ass Disney movie. I should have waited till Helix got here, but my roommate actually left to go to a class, which is why I'm doing it now. Goddamn, why did you leave, Caesar? Hold on. Next question is, and actually last question is, what was Landy's mate like? Small dragon. Like, bigger than a horse, but not that much bigger. It really wasn't a large dragon at all. His name was Drorko. And he was a very undragon-like dragon. Like, dragons are usually known for their aggression. Even Landy had, like, Kirkhamis is hiding a temper. Drorko had no aggression, like, at all. He was gentle. He never fought anything. Like, the only things he hurt was, like, things he had to hunt to kill, like hunt to eat, which he did feel horrible for, and, like, prayed for the soul of the thing he died and killed. So it was actually a really good match for Landy. He kind of balanced her out, because they met when she was, like, in a period of her life when she was super hostile towards things, and he basically, like, kept her level for a while. He was an expert healer, which fit. Yeah, he was a great guy. Just peaceful as hell, non-violent dragon. So yeah. Alright, that was the last question, so I'm going to end this thing now and get back to RPing. Alright, bye.